so the weather is supposed to be really cold and clear this week. So even though the sun's going to be out, temperature's not going to be a whole lot above freezing during the day. And even they're forecasting for the 20s at night. So I was sitting in the house, like, not wanting to get out. It's super windy. So, like, it feels even colder than it is. I didn't even want to go out. But I got 2 fleece pants on, shirt, sweater, shirt, and I'm going to put the rest of my Gumby suit on. And I'm going to go out and mix some fertilizer into my start soil, because then if I get the soil mixed, I can put it into containers and trays and bring it in the house and seed things in the comfort of my own home. Hey! So the sun is really coming out now, so it's warming up, and geez, it's actually cozy in here, man. So I made this soil mix last year, but I need to add this fertilizer. All I did was add some kelp meal, because I didn't have any fertilizer. I can add about 1 cup of this fertilizer and kind of mix it in place a little bit. Just kind of go back and forth. Now I have to go get the containers, which I have stashed over in my makeshift tool shed. I just stashed all my stuff up the top of that compost bin, so now I have to dig everything out. Get 'em. Get 'em. Okay, here's something that really sucks. So my new leak-proof trays here, I thought I remember them being able to hold 8 of these old containers that I have, and they don't. 2, 4, 5 is all I can get in here. And so I thought I was going to be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4 of these trays per table, but I can't. There's no way. So I can only fit 3 of these square trays here onto the table. Those look like robins to me, but I also saw a junco, Oregon dark-eyed junco, the other day. So it's kind of like having chickens, right? Or ducks, except for they take care of themselves, which is kind of nice. Wouldn't that be awesome if they were eating little caterpillar larvae? Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay, so I've got my square tray with 8 things. The thing is, I could use, if I could just get some of these things that had smaller cells, that would be awesome. But the shipping cost is so high for those. All right, so from a 5-gallon bucket of soil, I was only able to fill about 1.5 of these square trays. So if my calculations are correct, then I would need 8 full boxes of start soil in order to get all my starts going. And I think I only have just that much. So I don't really want to be using these big cells for all of these starts. I think about what I want to do. And plus, I can't take these big square things with graded bottoms, graded trays into the house to water them. If I don't have leak-proof trays, that's not going to work. Okay, so I've got plan B. And plan B is, I had ordered these soil block makers last year because I couldn't get those plastic trays that I needed because the shipping was too expensive. So I am going to go ahead and dump all this soil mix into this tub, take it up to the house, and play games. So this is my first time making soil blocks. This morning I watched a video by Farmer Jesse. So he says to just jam it in there up against the side of the tub or whatever, and just being like, oh my god, I'm just making a huge mess. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've got it all smashed in there. And then he says you just kind of go like, what, like this? Oh my gosh. I can't even get it to push out. Oh, you can like hold it like this. Okay. Dudes! I just made my first soil block. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Okay, one more try here. Right, so that's that. That's that. Get off the excess. Put these little suckers next to their friends. Oh, actually, let's do this. And then, oh, how does this work? I'm doing this all wrong, but whatever. Gosh, that is not that hard. I am so excited that I was forced to do this. 78 plugs in here compared to the 48 that I have in my square containers, so that's really cool. Okay, so in my spreadsheet here, it gives me the number of flats that I need at the very end here, and it says total flats 16 because I summed all of these flats, but that's because I had 48 plugs per my square flats. So I'm going to change this to 78 because now I can get 78 of the smaller plugs in. So total number of flats, I only need 10 instead of 16, so that's really awesome. So I was just thinking, as I was about to make my second batch of soil mix, is that it's really dry down there in the greenhouse. And this morning, so last night it was 28 degrees and it's been just above freezing during the day, so the water was totally frozen today and I could not turn it on. But just now I was able to get this hose going. So I've opened up the hose down there, but it's not running. And I really need water down there. So what I'm thinking about, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the time to fill a couple buckets from the house. So here's the bed that I gotta get watered. The soil is really dry on top. Got my buckets of water. I came out here and this is what I found, folks. Running water. So if I let it run for a little bit longer and then I'll let it drain and then maybe I'll have water every day. So cool. April 1st, Tyler got the plastic shrunk onto the greenhouse and we moved it down to where it's supposed to go. Temperatures remained in the 20s at night and would come up above freezing during the day. So what I would do is the night before, when the hose had finally thawed out at the end of the day, I would run some buckets of water and then I would take them and put them in the greenhouse. And then the next day I'd come out about 11 o'clock in the morning or at noon, when the temperatures had finally come up above freezing outdoors. And I'd go into the greenhouse and find the buckets were frozen on the top. But then I would pull the row cover off the beds and the plants were fine underneath there. So then I would just wait a little bit longer for that water to unfreeze and then water the beds. And then day after day, that's kind of how the routine went. So I should be able to get 98 plugs into these trays rather than 78. So let's change this to 98. Not 798, 98. Wonder how that changes everything. Let's double check these numbers. And so it actually says I need 8 trays. Okay, cool. So this is the challenge. And what I've been doing is pulling the side out here and putting this in and then trying to get it all the way to the side there and then pulling it up. That. And that works pretty good. So I've been thinking that once I start bottom watering these, I really need a space to do that. So I'm going to take out this whole row of plugs and put in a short length of 2x2 that I can just kind of pull out. And also that'll give me, when I'm trying to take these plugs out of the tray and plant them out, I was like, how in the world am I going to pry these things out of here? So we're taking one row out to make it easier for watering. So we're going to have 91 cells. Okay, so just a little over 8. Okay, dudes. So I'm not gonna put you through like me seeding trays and trays of seeds. Seeding trays and trays of seeds. So anyway, I've got red sweet crisp, green sweet crisp, and I'm just gonna do a couple of these, and then I'll let you go. But yeah, I don't want to be quite as deep as that divot. So for seeds like chard that are bigger, I think I'll just drop them right into that divot and not worry about that. So later, when these things develop roots, I'm going to bottom water them, but right now I'm going to water them from the top. Oh shoot. And see what happens. Oh my gosh. Okay. There you go. They seem to be all right. Okay, I've got everything seeded except for the basil, cucumbers, and sugar snap peas. And I've got them watered in. And I think it's gonna be a minor miracle if this actually works. Speedy arugula and red dragon arugula. So I'm just now seeing the red dragon start coming up. And that is the arugula there. Then I've got a little thing of chard. And they're coming up okay. This is the kale. And I don't know what kind of kale it is. And then the lettuce, you gotta look for it. Where's some lettuce here? But it is definitely kind of coming up here and there. Yeah, and I'm seeing a line of it. So there's a little buddy there. There's another little buddy there. There's another little buddy there. And there's another little buddy there. So I could almost say it's germinated. Got the red leaf and green leaf. And this is the Corvair spinach. Doing nicely. And a variety of spinach, Escalade. You know, coming up but not doing as nicely. And then we actually have some herbs. We've got parsley, cilantro, dill, and I don't know what's coming up what, but we've got some little guys popping up. So that's pretty cool. This bed over here, this is where I put the oldest seed. And so I was pretty excited to see this kale come up. Italian kale here. But there's not a whole lot else coming up. So that kale right there was old seed, really old seed that I got from my own kale that I grew in a garden a long time ago. So yeah, 10-year-old seed, probably too old. Nothing seems to be coming up. So I might actually replant at least this section through here. Anyway, end of week update. Gee willikers. Oh, there's another buddy.